Traditionally, for this model, Laguna 2 was represented by two modifications, a 5-door liftback and a 5-door station wagon. Both versions were sold with us officially. The bodies of this model are galvanized, and some parts, front fenders and station wagon trunk lid, are generally made of plastic, thanks to which Laguna is highly corrosion resistant. It should be noted that the Laguna 2 is also an excellent bodyguard. It became the first car in the history of Euro NCAP safety tests, which managed to win 5 stars. 5 years after the start of production, the model has undergone restyling. The front of the car has noticeably changed and the back slightly changed. The interior has changed. During the modernization, the quality of finishing materials has noticeably improved. The hard plastic used until 2005, which often creates extraneous noise, has disappeared. On pre-styling versions, the front seats may also creak. But other comments apply to all machines without exception. Thus, wedging of the electric drive for opening the gas tank flap, failures of door switches built into the locks, oxidation of contacts in the electrical wiring connectors located on the door pillars, failures of the branded radio CD players. The radio works, but the discs do not read or note it. Fortunately, the radio can be easily replaced by any other. It is a standard IDI in size. A claim to visibility. Due to the overestimated stern, the extreme rear clearance is not visible. At the same time, Laguna is able to attract with rich equipment, good sound insulation of the cabin and various unusual features. For example, a card that replaces the usual keys. It locks and unlocks door locks. Moreover, there are cards equipped with the auto lock system. The security system recognizes its card and automatically unlocks the locks as soon as a person pulls the door handle. There is no traditional ignition lock in Laguna either. The engine is started using the start/stop button. On pre-styling versions, you first need to insert the card into the card reader, and on some post-styling versions, it may remain in your pocket. Officially, we only sold petrol versions of the Laguna. Rare diesel engines were brought to Ukraine by domestic distillers. Due to the limited distribution, the experts who advised us could not share their experience in operating diesel fuel-consuming engines. Also infrequently there are cars with 2.0-liter turbo and 3.0-liter gasoline engines. A characteristic weak point of atmospheric units with a volume of 1.6 liters, manufactured after 2005, and 2.0 liters is a short-lived mechanism for changing the valve timing, branded spare part, 1200 UAH. If you're lucky, it will work 80 to 100,000 kilometers, and if not, it may fail after 40,000 kilometers. The malfunction manifests itself in the fact that the gasoline engine rumbles like a diesel engine during operation. In addition, the failure of individual Sagem ignition coils was noted. The same products from other manufacturers work without problems. There were troubles with electronic throttle valves. If the engine does not start, the cause may be an oxidized contact of the crankshaft sensor. With a normal driving style, the rear motor cushion is capable of going out for about 100,000 kilometers, and with an active one it can fail by 30,000 kilometers. The timing belt needs to be replaced every 60,000 kilometers along with guides and tension rollers. It is better to entrust this work to qualified specialists, since in all motors the pulleys have a keyless fit. If the fixing bolt is not tightened, the pulley may turn, which will lead to a fatal meeting of the valves with the pistons. When replacing the timing belt, it is also recommended to install a new water pump, which, according to the mechanics, does not nurse two-belt life. Every 60,000 kilometers, it is necessary to change the attachment drive belt. If it breaks, its remnants can fall under the timing belt and disable it with all the ensuing consequences. Many different transmissions were intended for the Laguna. Mechanics with 5 steps were equipped with versions with units of 1.6, 1.8 and 2.0 liters, but with 6 steps, only 2.0 liters turbo. Atmospheric 2.0 liter engines were also equipped with a 4-speed automatic, and only the most powerful ones were equipped with a 5-speed 2.0 liters turbo and 3.0 liters. According to the mechanics, automatic gearboxes proved to be the least reliable during operation. Modulation valves, valve body, oil seals, torque converter, etc. failed in them. Therefore, it is better not to buy a version equipped with an automatic in the secondary market. The 5-speed mechanics is also not sinless. It noted failures of the splines of the right axle shaft. They can stick together. Then you will have to change the axle shaft, which comes complete with internal and external CV joints, as well as a gear with the mating part of the splines located in the differential. It does not create any other problems. According to factory recommendations, the oil in all gearboxes is designed for the entire life of the unit, but for trouble-free operation, domestic experts still advise changing the lubricant in the automatic every 30 to 40,000 kilometers, and in the mechanics, 60,000 kilometers. Experts have the most comments about the Laguna suspension. On the one hand, increased ground clearance to 175 millimeters and long stroke struts provide comfortable overcoming of any bumps and are great for our roads. On the other hand, such an overly soft suspension setting contributes to the fact that at high speeds the car becomes rolled, sways, causing instability, which is why you have to constantly steer, keeping it on a given trajectory. In turns, the car rolls a lot. Another significant disadvantage is that the suspension is unreliable. So, on the Laguna, the first years of production, factory shock absorbers nursed only 10 to 15,000 kilometers. After the modernization of 2005, their service life increased to an average of 60,000 kilometers. When replacing them, experts advise giving preference to other well-known brands, which will help not only increase the service life of these consumables, but also correct the overly imposing running setting. The stabilizer bushings, about 30,000 kilometers, and ball bearings, 20 to 60,000 kilometers, also serve for a short time. But silent blocks, up to 100,000 kilometers, rubber bands are supplied with levers, and ball joints have recently been offered as a separate spare part. The rear suspension of the Laguna does not like overloads. The silent blocks of a semi-independent beam can give up already by 40 to 50,000 kilometers. The steering of all versions is equipped with the hydraulic booster. This unit is characterized by a drawback inherent in other Renault models: the flow of working fluid from the lubricant pressure sensor in the system. In the brake system, the wiring of the ABS sensors breaks over time. The electrical connectors of the ABS unit and the handbrake electric drive, if any, are oxidized. The reason is the unsuccessful placement of the blocks. The first one is installed from below between the front bumper and the wheel, and the second one is on the rear beam. On machines of the first years of production, 2000 to 2003, the brake mechanisms were not equipped with mudguards, so the inner pads wear out quickly. Now shields can be put on a company service. Renault Laguna 2 is not for pragmatists. They obviously will not like the poor reliability of many components and assemblies, especially against the background of the high market value of the machine. This car is for fans of Renault models who are ready to put up with the shortcomings of the Laguna in exchange for the fact that they will receive a very safe and richly equipped car with a soft, comfortable suspension, and equipped with chips that other competitors do not have. Find out the cost of a particular copy will help the weekly catalog after Bazar.